The following is a DW Ancient Egypt production. Since the days of Ramesses II, Nubia had gone its own way, eventually founding the capital of the Nubian Kingdom in Napata. Nubia was made up of many tribes that often fought each other and could never unite against Egypt. Now with Egypt fragmented, they were allowed to grow independent. By this time, in the 23rd dynasty, the Nubian king Kashta recognized Egypt's weakness and moved to capitalize on it. Kashta greatly admired Egyptian culture and mirrored his own kingdom on the religious and artistic customs. As a result, the cult of Amun had a firm hold in Nubia, and he managed to increase his influence through his daughter, who was appointed God's wife of Amun. The significance of her position was immense, and he basically took control of Thebes, and with it, Upper Egypt. The God's wife was a post held by a royal princess, who as the wife of Amun, maintained the god's cult on behalf of the king. This endorsed his right to rule, which made it easy to peacefully take over. His son Pianki strengthened Nubian control of Upper Egypt, established the 25th dynasty, and moved north against the kings of Lower Egypt with a considerable army. The two forces met at Heracleopolis. Initially, the confederation of northern rulers enjoyed a level of success. However, they were eventually pushed to Hermopolis, where they were compelled to surrender. Pianki allowed these rulers to return home and continue as governors of their respective cities, a policy which centuries later, Alexander the Great was to find effective during his world domination. Pianki returned to Napata, where he continued to rule until his death in 716 BC. Pianki was buried at El Kuru, just to the south of Gebel Barkal, in the pyramid field that was to include the burials of several of the kings of the 25th dynasty. The pyramid tombs adopted by the Kushites were very different from the Egyptians, and their angle of inclination was severely sharper than the true pyramid. However, the Kushite kings wholeheartedly embraced almost all of the old Egyptian burial customs. They added, according to their previous Nubian customs, the practice of laying the royal body on a bed in the tomb, and nearby, burying chariot horses standing in teams of 4 to accompany their master. Pianki was succeeded by his brother Shibaku, who continued the revival of old Egyptian customs. The history of the period is very much tied in with the rise and expansion of Assyria. Whilst Shibaku had kept the Assyrian king Sargon II at bay, his successor Shabaka took a different stance and sided with a Palestinian Phoenician revolt against the Assyrian overlords, against the mighty king Sennacherib. This was poking an aggressive giant, a very violent one at that. Shabaka got lucky, for Sennacherib was assassinated before he could mount a campaign, but this would soon be carried out by his son, Esarhaddon.